Hey guys, it's Kingdom Orange 2 here, and welcome back to my channel.
Since I've always had a passion for both cartoons and the dolls inspired by them, I thought for today's video we would touch on the toy history of everyone's favorite fairies, the Winx. Just like the show was dubbed and produced by many different companies, its dolls were also created by 4 separate manufacturers: Mattel, Jakks, Giochi Preziosi, and Witty Toys. Typically, 2 companies would manufacture their Winx Club dolls simultaneously, so this video will be divided by the toy company that created the dolls at a particular time. Now, I will be completely honest with all of you, there were 2 questions I just couldn't find a straightforward answer to. Firstly, I'm not really sure how a toy distributor works. I would assume if MGA created Bratz dolls, they would also distribute them, but when researching for this video, I stumbled across old Bratz with the Giochi Preziosi logo on them, as well as seeing Witty's Winx Club dolls with the Giochi Preziosi logo on their boxes. Second, I couldn't answer where each toy company sold their dolls. Obviously, the American company sold in the US and the Italian one sold in Italy, but I wasn't sure what other countries the dolls were retailed in. The only one I'm certain about is Jakks, who, according to an article on PRN Newswire, is the licensee for Winx Club in the US, Canada, UK, Australia, New Zealand, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, Panama, Peru, and Venezuela. So just to make things simple, I will treat Giochi Preziosi and Witty as separate entities. However, if one of you guys knows more about toy distribution and how it works, feel free to tell me in the comments down below. So with that being said, let's use our Season 5 Chrono Magic and take a look back at the history of the Winx Club dolls. Mattel. 2004 to 2008. The first dolls ever created for Winx Club were launched by Mattel in 2004. Introduced were the original 5 Winx girls along with Icy. Each doll stood only about 8 inches tall and had wires for articulation, which meant they could be posed by bending their arms and legs. These dolls also came with a multitude of accessories such as a DVD, pair of clothes, pet, etc. You know, all of the things dolls from the early 2000s used to come with before toy companies realized they were probably either a choking hazard or cost too much. After the release of the first line, Mattel continued next with the Pixie Magic dolls, which featured the girls in their Charmix looks, and included little figurines of each character's bonded pixie. These dolls were also released with rooted eyelashes. Mattel continued selling toys which wore outfits directly from the show like Dan Snyder's Schoolgirl, or outfits they made solely for a toy line, such as the concert and picnic dolls. They additionally created products with gimmicks such as the Flutter Magic line, in which the dolls had wings that would move when pressed, or Sensational Magic, where each doll came with a microphone and played their own original songs. Now, I've only ever owned one Mattel Winx doll, which was the Pixie Magic Bloom. I remember that you could actually remove the plastic hair on Laquette and press a button under her head, which I would often do. I can see why people love these dolls. They were very detailed and accurate to the show, but their short height always bothered me, and I felt like their faces never looked quite right. Other than Bloom's face, which I would argue looks very similar to her cartoon, the other girls look like a cross between a Bratz doll and those fish from Shark Tale. Giochi Preziosi, 2004 to 2008. At the same time as Mattel, Giochi Preziosi began to sell their version of Winx Club dolls in Italy. Founded in 1978, Giochi Preziosi was no stranger to the doll market, as they made toys in the past for a variety of girls' cartoons such as Witch and Sailor Moon. Preziosi's Winx Club dolls stood about 13 inches tall and had little to no articulation, but were able to move their arms up and down and bend at the torso. Instead of having a change of clothes and multiple accessories, their Winx had separate dolls for each girl's civilian and magic Winx outfits, as well as having no accessories. Giochi Preziosi didn't just sell the Winx girls though, as they made toys for a lot of characters, such as all 3 of the Tricks, Brandon, Sky, and even the mermaids from Andros. While they did mostly sell doll lines based on outfits from the show, similar to Mattel, they added toys made from their own unique outfits, like the Picnic and Magic Summer line. But around the release of the movie Secret of the Lost Kingdom, Giochi Preziosi changed their dolls. They were given new eyes as well as smaller bodies that stood about 10 inches tall. Their packaging was also slightly changed, but their wings were still made out of laminated paper and attached by Velcro in the back of their dresses. So I'm not crazy about a lot of things on these dolls. I actually had a Charmix Flora that I bought on eBay 10 years ago, and she had horrible hair. While I'm not exactly sure what it was made out of, it felt like straw to me. Their faces weren't great and their wings were really flimsy and could easily fall off, but I do appreciate that Giochi Preziosi created a lot of characters, especially the mermaid dolls. They were absolutely stunning and I always wanted to buy one, but the prices on eBay were just too much for me as a child. Jakks 2012 to 2014 and Witty Toys 2009 to present day. In 2009, with the release of Season 4, Rainbow founded Witty Toys, a business unit dedicated to the creation of toy collections. Witty made Winx Club dolls that stood about 12 inches tall. They had very cutesy cartoon faces and shared the same wiry articulation as the Mattel dolls. Witty released a bunch of lines based on season 4, such as Love and Pet, Magical Summer, and City Girl. They also launched their most iconic line, Believe X Fairy, which featured all of the Winx girls and Roxy. The dolls had wings which were made of glittery paper and velcroed onto their back. In 2011, Rainbow announced they were partnering with Nickelodeon to co-produce its upcoming 5th season. At the same time, Nick gave Jakks Pacific the rights to manufacture, distribute, and market their own line of toys for the show. The dolls debuted at Toy Fair 2012 and were initially broken down into 2 categories, budget and deluxe. Even though the specifications are a bit blurry, the budget dolls were typically lines that featured the Winx in everything but their fairy transformations, such as the Everyday Collection or the In Concert line. Now, one thing to note is that the dolls here actually have different face paints than the deluxe dolls, and no arm articulation, even though the prototype photos show otherwise. Additional doll lines that I would classify as budget were the Good vs. Evil pack exclusive to Target and the Charmix dolls exclusive to Toys R Us. On the other hand, we have the deluxe. The first deluxe dolls ever released were based on the Winx Believe X outfits. Besides having articulation in their hands and elbows, they had bigger and more accurate eyes and wings that were able to flap back and forth. The wings were essentially 2 laminated plastic pieces which you would clip onto a base. The base was in the shape of an X, and since every doll had an X molded onto their back, you were not only able to take off the wings, but you could mix and match them. Now, when season 5 was released, a couple of strange things started happening between these 2 doll companies. Witty Toys released their version of Harmonix dolls. While having more accurate hairstyles to the show, fans were very disappointed in their lack of detail. Witty also introduced a new type of wings. Instead of being made out of paper and velcroed onto their outfits, they were now made out of laminated plastic and clipped onto a base similar to Jakks. On the other hand, when Jakks Pacific released their Harmonic dolls, fans were amazed. The company known for having inaccurate outfits suddenly had stunning detail, fabrics, and shoe molds. Continuing on with this momentum, Jakks created their show-accurate Sirenix dolls. But when Witty Toys revealed their version, the next strange thing occurred. Weirdly enough, Witty's new products had the exact same head molds, hair quality, and wings as the Jakks Pacific dolls. Although I don't have an exact answer, I would assume that because Rainbow owns the rights to the characters, they also own the rights to their face mold and wings. Since they have their own toy company that sells in countries separate to Jakks Pacific, they are not in direct competition with one another. I would also theorize that Witty copied Jakks Pacific because it was cheaper to use the exact same wings and face molds than creating their own. Anyways, both Jakks and Witty continued producing dolls for season 6, but when Nickelodeon pulled the plug on Winx, Jakks ended their distribution abruptly. In fact, we can see through pics on the back of the Blue Mix boxes that prototypes were created for a budget Mythics line, but it never came to fruition. Witty Toys now became the sole company creating Winx. They would continue releasing dolls based on outfits and transformations from the show. Witty also would often create products with their new heads and wings on old transformations such as Enchantix and Harmonix. However, what dolls they released exactly and what the finalized product looked like was a bit difficult to pinpoint. Witty Toys had this really bad habit of making multiple different stock photos for each doll, as well as creating stock photos for toys that were never actually brought to market. And since I don't live in Italy, it was hard to tell which stock photo looks the most like the final doll on shelf, or which products they did or did not end up selling. But one thing I can be certain about was Witty Toys changed the dolls' faces in 2019 to reflect the younger, newer look of the Winx in season 8. They released dolls for Cosmix, as well as for the season 8 redesigns of Enchantix and Sirenix. And similar to what Witty has done in the past, they went back and changed the faces for old transformations like Sirenix and Tynix. Strangely enough, though, Witty actually went back to selling their dolls with their old Winx faces for the 2021 toy lines Bling the Wings and Magic Reveal. Pictured on their boxes is new artwork that many believe to be the Winx's new looks for season 9, but since we've still yet to see a trailer for the upcoming season, only time will tell. Now, throughout my time researching and editing for this video, I realized that Witty Toys had even more mysteries in their past. First of all, their season 4 dolls had pictures with Simba and Smoby logos on them. And while yes, different countries have different distributors, Smoby is French and Simba is German, this leads to even more questions for me, like why after season 4 we don't see their logo on the doll boxes anymore? I wonder if around season 5, Giochi Preziosi suddenly became able to distribute in more European countries. But for all honesty, this could be pure speculation. Another thing I noticed with Witty Toys was around 2016 they started selling some of their dolls on AliExpress. Included on this website were some doll lines such as Love and Pet and their Winx Believe X. Interestingly enough, this was also the only place you could get the Charmix and Enchantix versions for both Tecna and Musa. And while I'm not sure exactly why these dolls were exclusively sold here, I was able to purchase purchased both a Lovix Bloom and Flora doll for about $20 plus $10 for shipping, and besides coming in a busted box, the dolls were pretty legit. So before I go, make sure to comment on which doll company you think did the best below. For me personally, it was Mattel, but I found it interesting that Witty Toys was actually owned by Rainbow, which totally explains why they would be constantly changing outfits for no reason in season 4. Also, feel free to follow me on my Instagram and TikTok pages. It's the same username for both, and I love connecting with others and meeting new people.
If you liked this video today and want to see more content in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching today, and I will see you soon. Bye!